Hi, everybody. It's Miss Mac here. I am going to talk to you today, a quick refresher on the measures of center when we're talking about statistics and data. So, there are three things that usually fall into this category of measures of center, but really only two of them are actual measures of center. The other just gets kind of tossed in with it, but we're going to talk about all three today. So, these things are called measures of center because they tell you about the values that are the middle of a data set. So the center meaning the middle, and they're kind of describing what's going on for the middle of the data set. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about the mean, which we consider the average, the median, which we consider the middle, and the mode, which we consider the most. And those all should be kind of familiar to you. I think we first learned those in maybe fifth or sixth grade or middle school for sure, and then we use them occasionally throughout them. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this example with Juliana's quiz scores, and we're going to actually calculate the mean, the median, and the mode. So here's what we're going to do. We know that if we look at Juliana's quiz scores, she has a total of 7 quizzes here. All of them were out of 10 points, and her scores were in green: the 1, 8, 4, 7, 5, 10, and 7. And so we're going to actually go through and calculate each one of these measures of center for her quiz scores. So the average of a set of numbers, which we call the mean, is found by adding up all the values and dividing by the number of values we have. So basically what we have to do here is we are going to add, make sure I have this set, 1 plus 8 plus 4 plus 7 plus 5 plus 10 plus 7. And that's going to give us our total of all of our values. And that total is 42. So we add up all the values and find our total of 42. And then we're going to divide that by how many values there are. And since there are 7 quiz scores, we're going to divide by 7. 42 divided by 7 is 6. So this 6 is her average score. Okay, the average or the mean. Sometimes that comes out nicely like this one did, and sometimes it doesn't. And then in that case, you would just round. The second measure of center we're going to talk about is the median. Remember, the median is the middle value of a set of numbers, but we have to arrange them smallest to largest first. So our directions here in orange say line up the values smallest to largest and cross off the ends to find the middle value. So I'm going to take all 7 of those scores up there, and I'm going to list them out from smallest to largest. So I'd have 1, 4, 5, 7, 7, 8, and 10. And then I want to make sure I have 7 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good, so I don't miss any. So the very first step is to arrange them smallest to largest. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to cross out on the ends, starting on the left and the right and the left and the right, and work our way to the middle, because our median is our middle value in our list. So if I cross off those 2, cross off these 2, cross off these 2, that leaves me with 7 in the middle. And that 7 is my actual median. All right. Now, in this case, we had an actual middle number. But remember, sometimes what will happen is that you might have numbers like, if I had 3, 4, 9, and 12, and I said find the median of those, what you have to do is you're going to cross off the ends, but when you get to the middle, there are actually 2 in the middle. Well, in that case, to find the median, all we do is we add those 2 numbers and divide by 2. And that would give me 6.5, and that would be the median for that set. So if you have an even number of data values, you have to do this every time, where you take the middle 2 and divide by 2, and that will give you the new median. Okay, the last measure of center, which really isn't a measure of center, but we kind of gets lumped in, is the mode. The mode is just the value that occurs the most in a data set. All we do is we tally the values to see which one occurs the most. In this case, not really necessary to tally, but we will. So I have a score of 1, I have a score of 8, I have a score of 4, I have a score of 7, I have a score of 5, and I have a score of 10. And then I'm just going to tally how many of each one I have. So I have 1, I have an 8, I have a 4, I have 2 sevens, I have a 5, and I have a 10. And then I just look to see which one of these occurs most often. And we can see that it's this one right here. There are 2 scores of 7. So my mode is 7 because it occurs the most. Sometimes there are 2 values that occur most, or 3 values, and sometimes everything occurs the same number of times. So it's possible to have 2 modes or 3 modes, and it's also possible to have no modes. This was a quick review of the measures of center. Hopefully you remember all of this from before. If you have any questions, make sure that you talk to your teacher. Thanks. Bye-bye.